Okay, for continuity, a little bit of a sheen on the surface of the soil, but as you can see, pretty good drainage. Oh, that soil's pretty basically bone dry on the top, it was, but as I said, we had pretty heavy rain. Moss is going to come back fairly quickly. It's already starting to. In another 24, 48 hours it'll be pretty resplendent, and when we get a little bit of rain later on in the season, it really does plump up, and you can almost see it, I would say, holding the moisture in there, with the moss sort of thing. You can almost feel like you could grab a piece of moss and squeeze the water out, a bit like sphagnum, but not quite, you know. But here, already, see this? Now there are some prey foliage that should come up here in this site, but then again, look at that, look at that dug spot. I reckon someone's dug them out, so you know, I doubt we'll see them. But look at that moss there, you know. You can almost see a little bit of moisture hanging on in there now. But as I said, later in the season it becomes pretty obvious. As I said, it's almost like you could squeeze out a sponge in a way. But anyway, I just thought you'd like to see it at all times of the year. As I said, now we've cracked the basic understanding that the nitrogen in these CP soils is in the ground, but it comes from the atmosphere, and it's a physical chemical fixation. You can see remains of the flowers there of that Papalia. See, that one hasn't even got its leaves expanded back out. Some of these other ones here, down there, and all along here you get some nice little plants, you know. They're usually spectacularly colourful, and some, oh, there's a flower still open there, left over. A few other buds coming up there. I suppose I better go in close because you might not ever get to see these. As I said, what with the GFC, I mean, Iceland's done the right thing. They put the bigwigs at the top who did the wrong thing, who knowingly did the wrong thing, they put them in jail. Yeah, they've taken their assets away from them and they put them in jail. Good on Iceland. I think the rest of the world should have done something similar. And then all you fellas could have probably still gone on holidays, you know. Could have still come over here when you're still fit and young and had a look at this place. Now, you probably got to rely on me with videos, you know. And maybe it might be a case of a few of you fellas on the other side of the world pooling your money and, you know, sending me some petrol money, or, you know, buy me a cheap car that I'm probably going to use just once, and I'm going to run the guts out of it, because I think that's the only way you're going to do it. I don't think you're going to, what I want to do with a hard car, they probably don't allow you to do it, you know. I want to do everything, you know, because I'm getting to the end of my life sort of thing, you know. I get a small little, I said, I don't mind the bubble. People laugh at it, but I don't mind it because it gets me from A to B, and that's, I mean, I'm a nerd, you know, that's what it is. You know, if it's functional and it works, that's what I said, the only car I've ever wanted in the world is the 1960s Batmobile, you know. A replica one of those, that would be my sort of car, you know. You know, Ed Straker's car with the butterfly wings, yeah, but still, you know, for me, it's always been the Batmobile, you know. Everyone else talks Porsches, Lamborghinis and that, but no, me, it's the Batmobile, you know, the 1960s Batmobile. That would do me down to the ground, you know. If I ever win any major prize money, I'd be putting my order into fiberglass freaks, you know. They might as well start building it now, because you never know. And you never know when you're going to die, and you know, I'm nearly 50, I'll be 50 next year, so you know. But you can walk out here, and we can go to other haunts, but you know, I just thought you'd like to see it at the changeover, because things start growing pretty fast now, and as you said, you know, as we've learned, you know, after a bushfire, the soils go from being gutless to gut full. They start fixing nitrogen from the atmosphere in a physical chemical process, and then all the other biology, the mycorrhizae, start taking over from there, sort of thing. And that's why the plants grow so big, so robust, so colourfully and so fast, of course, because they're being powered by nitrogen, which is the key master element for all plant growth, as all the books say. So, you know, the books aren't wrong. It's just figuring out where the nitrogen was, where it was sitting in the soil, and how it was getting there, you know, how it was being fixed, you know. And you can actually see it being fixed, you know, the soil gets darker and darker and darker. Okay. And it's not an oxidation process as far as we work out, it's a reduction process, so you can, that's why you can tell it's not oxygen. Okay, now when I first came here years ago and I started, you know, exploring out from the original location where I found it with Robert Gibson back there in, I think it was 1990. Jesus, that's 24 years ago now. Yeah, Rob, that's 24 years ago. Can you remember that? The spitting rain that began? That was 24 years ago. That's quarter of, you know, 50 years, you know, it's half of 50 years or quarter of a century basically. You know, a quarter of, well, most people only get 70, but you know, I think our pernicious man of the West is going to be, what, 66 years this year? So, yeah. So, you know, getting close to the 70. So, yes, you know, I wonder how people are going to remember the person after he's gone. Well, I know how I will remember the person. Some of the things he's done to me and some of the things he's done to other people. You know, I don't know, I mean, anyway, but maybe you want to see what the soil looks down. You can see a few seeds there of other things sitting there, some various grass seeds. Put it down low so you can see what the moisture level is in the soil, if you want to try and simulate it back at your place. Magpie in the distance there, quite a nice bird. Anyway, it's probably time to start a new clip because I'm starting to blather and meander, and I think we're coming to it's the end of one journey, beginning of another. I think it's the end of one lifetime's journey to get to the answer, and now it's just going to look at the fruits and rewards of all those labours for the last 40 years of, you know, the original thing, just starting off, doing everything that everyone else did. You know, it's basically that book, you know, the how to make friends and influence people sort of thing. You know, the first part of the book, it's basically a book about